What's going on, everybody? Rick's TV back with another video, and in today's video we'll be discussing an article that was just put out recently by Sports Illustrated, probably about like 25 minutes ago, and it's giving inside information to where stating that the Lakers head coach Frank Vogel could potentially be on the hot seat, and the Lakers could be seeking to get a new coach very soon. So this article is by Sports Illustrated, and it says NBA insider gives thoughts on Russell Westbrook and Frank Vogel situations. Context is given to the most pressing issues, the most Lakers fans, blah, blah, blah. So they said after the Lakers lost to the Milwaukee Bucks to start off the 5-game road trip, the Lakers fans have been impatient with Frank Vogel as coach and Russell Westbrook as to his fit with the team. With 16 games in the books, the Lakers are sitting at 500 with an 8-8 record. The inconsistencies with the team have ranged from looking like a team created on the playground to a squad that has shown their capabilities of lockdown defense and quarter spurts. Obviously, LeBron James has played six of the 16 games so far. So this is not a fair measurement of where the team is at this point. But we cannot overlook the flaws this team has at this point. So here's the statement by Marc Stein. So it says that longtime NBA insider Marc Stein hopped on Spotify Green Rooms to talk NBA basketball, and a topic of head coach Frank Vogel's status came up as Stein gave some troubling context to Vogel's situation. So he says, quote, Frank's seat was toasty from minute one going into the season purely by virtue of the fact he only got a 1-year extension. I could not believe, given the championship he won pretty much right off the bat, how that doesn't get you an extension sooner and how that didn't get you more than a year. In coaching circles, it just kind of left a vibe of, well, he's being set up to be a scapegoat in case things don't go well. That's not coming from within the Lakers' orbit. Allegedly not coming in from the Lakers' orbit. However, he says that that's more analysis from people around the league watching the situation. He has an incredible tough job with an incredibly flawed roster. And if you want to blame Vogel and think someone is going to come in and fix the Lakers' issues, be my guest. Now, these flawed roster issues is what they're hiding and what they're never going to say, because LeBron James has too much power and too much influence over the entire NBA, over Adam Silver, the whole league as a whole. So they're never going to hold LeBron James accountable. They're never going to mention him. And they use these as talking points and, ESPN talking points, so fans, it could cover up and fans don't talk about it. However, LeBron James is at fault because he's pulling the strings and calling these shots. Carmelo Anthony is on the team because of LeBron James. And despite Carmelo Anthony having these games where he's going off and, he has few games. It's just like when he was with Houston. He had games where he was making a lot of shots, but now he's getting more looks. He's getting more shots. He's getting more attempts. So he's going to make a lot of shots as well. But as you can see down the stretch, there's a lot of games where Carmelo Anthony is useless. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James don't fit. He signed off on the trade for Russell Westbrook. So LeBron James should be held at fault. Me and one of my loyal YouTube subscribers, shout out to Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Shout out to Mike Jones, who he asked me, we were just having a discussion about the Lakers' loss last night to the Milwaukee Bucks. He asked me, did he think that the Lakers should go on a different route in terms of, hiring a new coach, firing, Frank Vogel. And I told him, I said, I think that the Lakers, should make a coaching change, because one, LeBron James, if you notice, right, and I'm going to just try to make this as, short as possible. LeBron James, when Kobe Bryant was still alive, right, Kobe Bryant literally, from what I hear, and this is shouts out to Carcino because I watch a lot of Carcino video, his content, but from what I hear, Jason Kidd was more so, because you got to think, Rob Pelinka and Kobe Bryant, he says that Rob Pelinka is like a really close friend. He's like his best friend or whatnot. He was once his former agent, right? So Kobe Bryant was calling the shots and pulling the strings. He was a secret hand behind the scenes calling all the shots. So he had to be moved out the way. I don't care what nobody says. He had to be moved out the way. And I think that's also playing into why it's now being called Crypto Arena. Staples Center, as Vanessa Bryant said, was the house that Kobe helped build. But now it's crypto, who's into business and all this other stuff, so-called LeBron James. So all this stuff is starting to connect. Y'all got to connect the dots. It's all making sense. Okay. So everything, the decisions that's being made from the Lakers is from LeBron James. He has so much power. That's why you see him walking on the floor. Whenever there's a call being made by the referees, he's talking to the ref. That's the coach's job. That's the coach's job. They gave LeBron James too much power. My pop said when LeBron came over, he said the Lakers Jeannie Buss kind of sold her soul to get him, right? So LeBron James, this is what I'm saying. Jason Kidd was he assistant head coach? Was he the next coach? He was the next coach in line, right? He was brought on the coaching staff, Jason Kidd. But if you notice, because they said that Jason Kidd was someone that Kobe Bryant vouched for, right? And he could potentially step up to be the Lakers' next coach. But if you notice, Jason Kidd is no longer there. And who did LeBron James want to be his coach, who was also a coach with him in Miami? David Fizdale. David Fizdale is now on the Lakers coaching staff. So this lets you know that this article right here is valid and has some truth to it, because David Fizdale is the assistant coach. David Fizdale is a part of the Lakers coaching staff. So 9 times out of 10, things don't go right. David Fizdale is next in line to be the Lakers head coach. So it's all being set up to go wrong. And eventually the Lakers might end up trading Russell Westbrook. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in the comment box like this.